Alright, let's get started. Add bread flour and water into a large mixing bowl. Grab your dough whisk or spatula and start stirring to form a dough. Using moist hands, continue hand mixing till there are no lumps and no dry flour. Take note of how the dough feels like at this point. Cover and rest for the next 20 to 60 minutes. If you have a stand mixer, you can use a dough hook on low speed to mix your dough. Mix till your dough comes together and make sure that there are no lumps and no dry flour. Cover and rest for the next 20 to 60 minutes. Uncover the bowl and moisten your hands. Reach in and see how different the dough feels like now. While the dough was resting, gluten bonds formed, and the dough is now smoother and more extensible. Next, we add strong and active sourdough starter into our bowl. Then we sprinkle salt evenly all over the surface. Dimple the salt into the dough and use a squeezing action to dissolve the salt. You can stop mixing once all of the salt is dissolved. Cover and rest for the next 30 minutes. If you have a stand mixer, you can add your starter and sprinkle salt on the surface of the dough. Use a dough hook on low speed to mix your dough until the salt is fully dissolved. Cover and rest for the next 30 minutes. "30 minutes later, moisten your counter and remove your dough. Working with moist hands, grab the top and bottom of the dough. Rotate and slap it down to form layers. As you release the dough, fold it over to form more layers. Grab the top and bottom of the dough, rotate, slap it down to form layers. As you release, fold it over to form more layers. Repeat this until you get a nice tight ball. You can also pinch the dough gently, and once you feel there's tension, you know that it's time to stop. Transfer into a straight container and rest. This container will allow you to visually gauge how much the dough will rise during fermentation. Mark the original height of the dough, as well as 50% rise and 100% rise. After 30 minutes, moisten a large area of your counter and place your dough in the middle. Working with moist hands, gently reach under the dough and expand it from the middle outwards. Fold the dough in thirds, from top to bottom, left to right. Flip it over, tighten into a ball, and return into the container. You may also choose to add inclusions while doing lamination. Here's an alternative method to add inclusions into your dough. Distribute your inclusions evenly and dimple it into the dough. Stretch the top part of the dough before folding it into thirds. Do the same for the other 3 sides of the dough until you get a nice tight square. Flip it over and tighten into a ball. Transfer into a straight container and rest. After 30 minutes, moisten your counter and remove your dough. Using your finger pads, gently stretch the dough outwards and fold it into thirds. Do the same for the other 3 sides of the dough until you get a nice tight square. Flip it over and round it into a ball. Transfer into a straight container and rest. Another option here is to gently roll your dough. Expand your dough gently and simply roll it up. Rotate and roll it up again. Transfer into a straight container and rest. After 3 or 4 sets of folds, allow your dough to rest and give it time to slowly ferment. Aim for your dough to rise by at least 50%. Once your dough has grown by at least 50%, you can proceed to shape your bread. Sprinkle a thin and even layer of flour on your counter and place your dough on it. Gently pull out 4 corners to make a large square. Stretch one corner of the dough gently and stick it in the middle. Do the same for the other 3 corners. You want to create surface tension and symmetry. Once you have a large square, you can lift up the 2 sides to make a hot dog shape. Gently lift up the sides, overlapping slightly, and stitch down the middle. Next, stretch, tuck and roll to form surface tension. Continue to tuck and roll till the seam is at the bottom. Seal the bottom of the loaf together by squeezing gently, creating tension. Seal the sides of the loaf together like this. Flour the surface and check for final symmetry and surface tension. Transfer into a proofing basket and refrigerate for the next 8 to 12 hours overnight. The next morning, preheat your oven, baking steel, and metal bowl. You can also use a cast iron pot. After preheating for 40 minutes, remove your loaf from the fridge. Spray some water, dust a little flour, and score a decorative design with a straight blade if you wish. Using a curved blade, score down the middle of the loaf. Aim to score about 1 cm deep, as parallel to the surface as you can. Transfer your loaf into the oven and keep it covered. Covering the loaf will help trap steam. Halfway through baking, remove the cover. Continue to bake till the crust caramelizes and turns a deep dark brown. Alternatively, bake your loaf with steam for the first half of the bake. Remove steam and then continue to bake till the crust turns deep dark brown. And there you have it, a simple sourdough loaf. For those who prefer to bake on the same day, allow your dough to ferment to at least 50%. Proceed to shape your loaf as usual and place it in your bread proofing basket. Give it time to slowly ferment till it's 100% in the basket. You may choose to freeze your loaf for an hour so that it will help harden the surface of your loaf. This helps to make scoring a little bit easier. Continue to bake and enjoy your loaf.